Word of advice, give a wide berth to the governor's manor. Giatta's about to tear that poor man a new one. Well, I hope you have a stomach for profanity.
Huh. A woman shouting profanity at leadership? Reminds me of home.
She came storming up the hill with a wheelbarrow full of spoiled crops. Then the shouting started.
Animancers fighting? This I have to see.
This isn't the first time Giatta's put the governor in his place, but it might be the last. You could do a lot worse than Giatta, but she can be a bit confrontational. The governor's manor is on the far side of town. You can't miss it. Just follow the sound of foul language.
I was hoping to learn some local curses.
Looking forward to seeing what it looks like when animancers fight.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Inquisitor Ludwig said you might be heading this way. As am I, in a way. Forgive me. I'm Captain Alfir, captain in the Steel Garrote. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. While they theorize and do nothing, the sickness spreads. But worry not, envoy. The Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests when the time comes. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of Solace? This will be so very useful.
Giatta, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops! Look at your city! The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home!
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it!
We can discuss this in private.
We are discussing it now! How can you ignore what's right in front of you? The Dream Scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? Charmed. Forgive me for staring. It's just, we don't see many of your kind anymore.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion. Very well. I hope you remember that behind these walls, your influence has limits.
I'm sure she didn't come all this way just to challenge your authority. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The Dream Scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now, our farms. Then there's no time to waste arguing with bureaucrats.
I like her already.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the Dream Scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
As usual, Giatta never misses a chance to slander me. I don't ignore her concerns, only her methods.
And you still do nothing. Before we can deal with the Dream Scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Must be nice that all the arguing isn't about you, for once.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell her about your family's basement? Or should I?
Dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident, but look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the Dream Scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. If I don't have your trust, I am determined to earn it. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Whoa, you're banishing her for that?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Messiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
I'll find us another bedroom.
Another time, Amoy.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giatta, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. I can think of one. He's an entitled little worm who can't stand to be proven wrong.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. Most of us would be better off without tyrannical bureaucrats. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want, on my terms. The dream scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the dream scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see a Nadiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Indeed. Some of my colleagues would fight me for the opportunity to study you. I only bring it up because Animantии might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... Of course. Excuse me, it's been a long day. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Glad to hear it. Your education should come in handy. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fjord. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. No one ever achieved the impossible without being a little unhinged. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial envoy, research assistant. Who knew?
Careful! Or we'll get thrown out of the pub! We're already thrown out. Really? Huh. And when did that happen? Can't say as I remember.
I had one job, but I couldn't even do that.
Pour you a drink, godlike? Well, I'll be a godlike in the apologies for the ruckus outside. I might be more amused if it didn't happen so often. Except Giata and Quilich. They are the only animanters taking the Dream Scourge serious. Try telling that to Vidaro and the animancers. But the rest of us, we've all heard the rumors from outside. Animals gone mad, terrors stalking the wilderness day and night. Birds' bells, of course. If Emerald Stair runs out of food, we are in dire straits anyway. We've had crops fail before, but never food rations. The governor says it's just a temporary precaution, but I am not buying it. So, we ought to drink while we can. Agreed? Anything I can get you? Welcome back, envoy.
Ado, welcome to my finest town.
Founded machine. Oh, I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. What a question! If I were to answer in full, we'd be here for several. In short, we animancers study essence, soul matter, if you will. Here in Emerald Stair, we use essence to enhance the crops. That is a preliminary explanation. Giada, what a loss. I owe that young woman more than I could ever repay. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Yes, her theory of the dream scourge, I'm quite familiar. What I need is a stronger power source. Grimoires can hold intense power, but not for long. Besides, grimoires require a wizard to draw in essence. It's too dangerous at this scale. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. Indeed, but that well is almost dry. I need more. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west, across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Atragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, Aimik. Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late. Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, Aimik.
Come on. My invention is guaranteed to at last.
Yeah, I pretty much brought that plague bear down by myself.
Did you?
one's not doing the job. Let me catch my breath. Come and get me. Let's see what you got.
I was just getting warmed up. This is one of the Living Land's main export hubs. Or, it used to be.
The great mystery is...
Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. Fluent speech and upright posture show marks of sophistication in the endangered godlike. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider, but I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before.
Giada must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything
The information wouldn't be worth anything if we just gave it to her free. Let's begin the examination. If you could choose who or what, next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky. Forget what I think. Let's keep the focus on you.
Who wouldn't? My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help?
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
There's no cure for the Dream Scourge, much in the way that there's no cure for an avalanche.
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
Precisely. A godlike and a scholar, too. Incredible.
Indeed. Just as Adra channels essence, so too may it provide a key to discovering more about the Dream Scourge.
Not that we'd ever be interested in such research, of course. How droll. Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell. Did you hear what
Hurry,
Giada was
before they
saying
change
to
their
the
minds.
exile?
Ugh, I might have
Wonder if she needs a new
dozed off
reset.
there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed? Why is it somehow worse when the Revenants aren't trying to kill you?
A godlike in Emerald Stair. Well, well, maybe our luck's improving. I'd offer to shake your hand, but I've been elbow deep in Beatrice all day. Try and use their names, if you don't mind. It builds their confidence. As you can see, this is my reanimated corpse farm.
We can smell it, too.
I'm trying to demonstrate the value of undead labor. But of course, nothing is ever that simple. What am I supposed to do? Just let them decompose? Reanimated corpses are the future of manual labor. Cost-effective, low maintenance, and very friendly. Now, Beatrice, she's being a real problem, if you can believe it. Would you be a dear and reach into her guts? Feel around for anything that doesn't belong. Aha! So the blight got into my revenant and interfered with her raising. That confirms one of my theories. Not only is the Dream Scourge affecting our farms, it's disrupting Animantии, unraveling our work. Sounds like I have more research ahead of me, but at least now I have a sense of direction. Thank you for getting your hands dirty on my behalf, godlike. You're a natural. Giada Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor. I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? He is a governor. It's his job to listen to people, and he can't even get that right. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. Silvo is one of my revenants. My oldest, my favorite, and the pride of my flock. Someone needs to put a poor fellow out to pasture. And I just don't have the heart to do it myself.
Well, it's already dead. That's the hard part done right there.
When a revenant goes bad, there's only one option. Final death. And poor Silvo's time has come. Silvo is on a strict diet, but I suppose he could have gotten into the crops when my back was turned. You never know with these rascals. Outsiders and travelers down on their luck. You'd be surprised how many people want to sell their bodies to Animantии.
Say what you will about mercenary and military life. At least your obligations end at death.
Anyone else see a downside to giving monetary value to corpses?
This is a good forever home for the undead. Better than some crypt, anyway. But sometimes we have bad days. They come to me for breakfast, and I let them wander the fields. Really, it's no different than raising goats. Thank you for understanding. You can find Silvo in the barn. He's blocked the door somehow, but the window should be. Just be gentle with him.
So, we're killing a revenant then? She just couldn't come out and say that?
And this is why I don't take pets. Unseen.
Here we go! What am I hitting?
Emerald Stair has seen better days. With any luck, the turning of the seasons will favor us. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. Quite right. A broken clock is right twice a day, after all. Adra is a conduit for essence. So maybe you'll find a connection between the essence and the Dream Scourge. Like the rings of a tree. A very old Adra pillar could remember its last brush with the Dream Scourge. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. And thank you for the interesting riddle. You and Giat are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare fuel.
My farmhands are very affectionate. Feel... Come back soon.
Seven in the past week. How am I supposed to live like this?
First, my wife runs off to Paradise, and now this. Show me what you got!
Come and get me!
We make a good squad.
Who's there?
I'm in trouble! Anybody there? I'm in trouble!
Be safe!
Who's there? Somebody help!
Be safe!
Hey! Over here!
Be safe! Be safe!
Nice work.
This one's mine.